I say that to say, when I realized, as soon as I realized the difference I was making customers' lives, that's when my days and my average order and everything else skyrocketed to the numbers of one of the best all time. And so here's what I mean by that. Firstly, I'll say realizing just how often and how big of an impact we're making. These customers are using these products. You guys can hear me okay, Spencer? You guys good? Okay. These customers using these products, and by the way, the most important function of a knife is the cut. And if the most important function of a knife is the cut, well, the relevant fact that we're the world's sharpest knives means we're the highest producing product, the highest performing product of its kind on the planet. The highest performing product of its kind on the planet. Understand, you guys are giving customers an opportunity to purchase and own one of the highest performing products of its kind on the planet. Secondly, so there's that quality right there. And then also practical value. They're using them every day for the rest of their life, and they'll never have to buy knives again. They never have to replace them every day for the rest of their life. And then in those 50 years on average that customers spend in their lifetime cooking, when they're done with them, they give them to their kids or their kids' kids. There's this generational value that you're offering to these people, to these families, generational value. And I think some of you probably heard me say this before, but I think it's important to reiterate so it really sinks in. How many people in the entire world can say in 2 hours or less, we make every day of the rest of their life better when we're talking about our customers? So it's really knowing that, feeling that, experiencing that, being true to that, like knowing that's what you provide and being massively grateful for the opportunity to provide that kind of value and massively certain that that's the value you're providing. That's really where it starts, having these bigger orders. Massively certain that you're with that customer for a reason. You're in their life for a reason. They're in your life for a reason. And you have the opportunity to literally make a generational impact on their life and on their family. And something they're going to use every day for those generations to come, not just something they lock up and is an heirloom that gets to be used once or twice a year. Which brings me to the point now of the cookware, the flatware, why it makes sense for customers to be getting so much. Cutco. Well, when you think about it, when our products are used every day for the rest of their life and never have to be replaced, it only makes sense. It only makes sense that they have as much of that kind of product as possible. It only makes sense that they have as much of our knives as possible. It only makes sense that they have as much as of our flatware, of our cookware, of our gadgets, of anything that we make. If they're going to be using it every day for the rest of their life and will never have to pay for it again, and it'll always be the highest performing product of its kind, then it only makes sense that we help customers get as much of it as they possibly can afford. And we're not here to push anything on anyone. We're not here to make anyone get anything that they can't afford. But we're also not here to decide for them what they can and cannot afford. And I think that's massively important. I was on a coaching call with one of the reps under my managers. I do calls for managers, but then also I do calls for some of their staff. And I was on a call with a guy out of Baton Rouge. And he was feeling kind of this conflict of helping customers get a lot of Cutco, especially if they already had like a homemaker or something. And what I helped him to realize is, like, it's not up to us to decide how much Cutco they get. It's up to us to show them with enthusiasm, with certainty. It's up to us to show them as much of the options as they can get. And then it's up to them to decide what's right for them. It's not up to us to decide what they can afford, what they can't afford. You know, a few years back, I was part of a service call program where we were developing the service call training that's in place now. And I got a lead. Basically, the company would give me some leads, and I would go see these customers of people who didn't have a rep, so they could start getting customers service. And one of the leads was into the roughest parts of Houston. And I show up to the house. I didn't realize it until I got there. It's in one of the roughest parts of Houston. Their house is like a shack that's smaller than my garage, and there's bars on the windows and on the doors. You know, so not a typical Mac customer that we like to think of. And so I get there, and it could have been very easy to me to be like, what the heck am I doing here? How are these people even having Cutco? And how are they possibly going to afford more? And rather than coming in with any kind of prejudgment like that, I just showed up and just trusted that they're going to be able to get whatever they can get. And it's not my right to decide that before I walk in those doors. Because as the authority, you're the one doing the demo, you're the one doing the service call, which means you're the authority. It's your presentation. They have authority over the buying decision, but the presentation, we're the authority. And as the authority, however you feel about something will always influence how they feel about it. And so if I go in there feeling like, man, how are they ever possibly going to be able to afford any more Cutco beyond probably the one knife they have? Well, then they probably would have felt, even if I didn't say those words, they probably would have felt differently about placing an order with me. So instead, I go in there treating them like they're the king and queen of England. Like they could probably, or they can buy as much Cutco as anyone in the world. And so I go in there with that attitude. I'm showing up to serve. I have a great experience, and they wind up, by the way, again, small house, smaller than my garage, bars up and down the windows, and they wind up upgrading their galley set to an ultimate. They wind up adding the flatware, adding a bigger set of cookware, and a bunch of other stuff. It was like a 5K order. And the only reason why that happened is because I trusted that my job was to show up with certainty, with enthusiasm, with gratitude, and give them the best opportunity that they can possibly have and getting whatever they can possibly afford. And I think that's massively important, that you're showing up without this decision of, oh, I don't know if my customer can get this, so I don't know if I'm going to show it to them. Or I'm just going to show it to them with a bunch of timidness or shyness because I don't know if they can get it or not. And I don't, it's not your decision. It's their decision on what they can and cannot buy. And that's why we have to show up just giving them that opportunity. The other thing I want to point out too is if I show up to a customer and I build great rapport and give them a great experience and we have a great time and they don't buy anything, well, that was still a positive demo. I still built a friendship. I still had a great time, gave them a great experience. Now, if I show up to another customer, build great rapport, have a great experience, and they buy $1,000, they buy a homemaker, well, that's an even happier customer because they just had a great experience and now they have these products they're going to use every day for the rest of their life and never have to replace again. Well, again, if I show up to a customer, build great rapport, have a great experience, we have a great time, build a friendship, and they buy a $5,000 order, that's an even happier customer because that just means more of their products are going to be more of the best performing products that's on the planet. More of their products they're going to be able to use every day for the rest of their life and will never have to replace ever again. Which not only means they're going to save hassle, they're going to save time, but they're also going to save a ton of money not replacing all that stuff over and over and over. You guys get that? So I think that's the most important part of it. That's the most important essence, is knowing what we're doing, the level of value that you're providing. And the sooner you get that, even if you say the exact same words in your approach, the sooner you get that, the sooner you realize like what I'm doing here is providing massive value for my customers, then the sooner the words will start picking up and the average order will skyrocket. So with that being said, let me just get into some simple approach stuff. Now, the cookware, I'll go over first. This is extremely simple, okay? I'm not like a quote-unquote cookware expert. In fact, everything that I'd recommend for you to even say in your cookware, you either already have access to with stuff that your managers are going to give you, or you go to cutco.com. You go to cutco.com, go in the cookware section of cutco.com, and it tells you pretty much everything you need to say. Plus, it has a video you could just hit play on for your customers. So I'm not even going to go in through all of this. There's just some key things that I'm going to say here, and also some tone, some how I'm saying it, not just the words, but how I'm saying it to illustrate kind of how to sell this cookware. But the essence, everything you need to say, you could just literally read from this page. Okay, it's pretty simple on the cutco.com page. So this cookware features a heat conducting aluminum core throughout, surrounding your food with an even temperature to cook it from all sides simultaneously, from the bottom up, the sides in, and when the cover is on, from the top down for greater efficiency. The result is faster food preparation and better tasting meals. All right, some of the construction. It's a 5-ply construction. The inside layer is a T304 stainless steel. The outside layer, and by the way, you can literally do this with your customers. And if they're wondering, like, why are you reading something to me? Just let them know, hey, I'm kind of new. I want to make sure I cover everything for you. Right? It's pretty simple. They're not going to question you wanting to make sure you're providing the right information to them. Right? Stainless steel layer encases an inner core of 3 layers of aluminum, one of the best heat conductors available for even temperature distribution. Stainless steel is non-porous, extremely sanitary, and corrosion resistant. It's dishwasher safe, cleans easily, and keeps it luster year after year for maximum durability and a lifetime of superior performance. Right? Then you can talk about the perfect fit cover, the stay cool knob, so when you grab the lid, it doesn't burn your fingertips. The sure grip handles make sure that you can easily hold on to the cookware. Couple key points here. It's designed to let you prepare all your favorite recipes with only a minimal amount of water or oil or liquids that can steal away both flavor and nutrition. Ms. Jones, do you like flavor and do you like healthy family? Awesome, this is perfect for you. The slow moisture approach retains food nutrients, enhances flavor and appearance, and cuts cooking time dramatically. So whether it's a quick breakfast or a 5-course holiday feast, you'll serve your family and friends delicious, healthy meals without spending all day in the kitchen. Then you briefly mentioned how they select the correct size, which helps them get the right number of pieces because they want to fill the pots to at least 3/4 full. That's how you're going to get the most efficiency out of the cooking. You let them know you're going to use only minimum water or other liquids, which I just mentioned, retains the nutrients and the flavor. And then also you're going to mention that you use less salt, less seasonings. You always cook on medium to low heat, which means that they're going to be saving in efficiency in terms of their energy bills. They use the cover to make sure it's like an oven sitting on top of the stove. You can even bake a cake on top of the stove. And you keep the cover in place because it has this vapor seal. And then you just talk about it's also guaranteed forever, just like our knives. So Ms. Jones, just as awesome as our knives are, so is our cookware, and it complements your knives as well. And the more you get for your kitchen, the more you consolidate Cutco throughout your kitchen, the more you're going to have the best performing product of its kind on the planet, all under one brand. So you always have us to go to if you ever have any concerns, needs, or service. So that's the essence of the cookware. The flatware, I'll actually share one of my approaches with you because that's not as elaborate on the website. And what I'll do for you guys is as soon as I can, I'll send this approach to Kathy or anyone else. So this one I'll just go through. You're able to pick up. If you're able to jot down some pieces of this approach, cool. Otherwise, I'll get it sent out as soon as possible to Kathy and the other managers. So this is our flatware. This stuff is super popular right now, whether someone already has Cutco or is brand new to Cutco. It seems like everyone's getting this stuff. It's amazing. It has a good quality weight, so it's not too heavy, so you don't feel like you're lifting weights every time you take a bite. And it's also not going to be so heavy that when you set it down on your plate, it flips your food out and is like a catapult for your food that sends it across the table. It's also not going to be too light or flimsy, so it's got a really good quality in-between weight. It's very elegant and is a timeless design that is both beautiful and simple. So 40 years from now, you won't have to worry about this going out of style. Our design won't change. And if you lose a piece, you can easily replace it and it'll still match. So it's both luxurious for special occasions and practical for your daily use. Now, as you can see, they're beautiful, but a lot of people don't just like aesthetics, they also like function. So if you or your husband or anyone else likes the idea of your beautiful pieces at the table working, not just looking pretty, my personal favorite part about this is that the table knife has the same double D edge as the table knife you just used to cut the leather. And by the way, if you actually have the stainless table knife, then cool, actually cut leather with it too so they can see. But if not, just use your table knife. Letting them know it has the same double D edge, so it doesn't just look pretty, it functions too. So your guests will not only love the look of your flatware, they'll love how well it works as well. And if you've ever priced high quality flatware before, you know this stuff isn't cheap. If you look at other high-end flatware, it could be $200, $300 for a setting. And the problem though is that most of those types of flatware, you lock it up in a cabinet. You use it like once or twice a year, and then you lock it up in a cabinet. That's hardly any use. right? Like even if over the course of 50 years, you're talking only 50 to 100 uses. Well, what's awesome about our flatware, it's our forever flatware. It has our forever guarantee. So you can use it for Cutco. You can use your Cutco for breakfast, lunch, dinner, every meal, every day for the rest of your life. Quite literally, this will become the most used item in your home for the rest of your life. And if something happens, like you drop it down to garbage disposal, you pull out whatever chunk of piece of spoon you have left, and we'll replace it for free. We can't replace your garbage disposal, but we can replace your flatware. And then, of course, there's also a price comparison that I can go into, but depending on how you're doing the demo, you would do the price comparison with the rest of everything else. So that's essentially the cookware. Pretty simple stuff. Again, the cookware you can basically just read off the website. The flatware approach I kind of came up with, basically taking some of the best stuff that I'd heard and compiling it. There's also another flatware approach from one of our CSPs, Chad Brailsford. He basically told me he took my flatware approach and made a couple of tweaks for himself. So maybe we can also get you access to that, guys. That's the essence right there of the cookware, the flatware. The most important thing, even more important than the approach of the words, like I said earlier, is just knowing why it's worth it for your customers. And why knowing that showing them and giving them the opportunity to get it is worth it for them, even more than it's worth it for you, even more worth it than your push prizes, your income, which is all great, but you winning push and you hitting goals and you getting great income is all just a natural byproduct of the more important purpose of serving your customers at a high level. So that's essentially what I've got for you guys, unless there's anything else that you're wanting me to add. Spencer, Kathy, anyone else? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay. So, I guess if there's any questions while I'm waiting on Spencer, Kath, or anything like that, we could throw that open really quick if anyone wants to throw a question at me. You just hit the mute button on the screen.
Okay, we're going to get Spencer right now. He went to training. But...
Okay, no problem. Any questions while you guys have me for a minute?
Comparison prices for the
I
hear somebody, but
Chris is asking where would we get the price comparison for the flatware?
Price comparison for flatware, it's basically I don't have a sheet. I think there are some out there. I don't have one personally. I just say that good flatware, because customers can just go to any store like Williams Sonoma or whatever and just see this. And maybe there are some of these on Williams Sonoma, but I just, as far as that price comparison, I just say it. So most good flatware set of 12 settings is going to be right around 2,400 to $3,000. Most good flatware is going to be anywhere between 2,400 to $3,000.
I'm not sure where Spencer is.
With our guarantee alone, if we sold in stores, ours would easily be $4,000 to $5,000. With our guarantee alone, if we sold in stores, ours would easily be $4,000 to $5,000. Fortunately, it's not. The flatware chest, the 12 settings, is only 2,100, and that's not even the special that the company has going right now. Which is, by the way, is a very good point. Like, understand that the 12 settings is $1,399, but normally if they bought 12 settings of flatware, it'd be $2,100. And it's when it's one of the best things to sell, because not only has Cutco discounted it dramatically, but then we don't get any CPO hit. We don't lose CPO for the bonus items on the flatware chest. So it's a chance to give customers a savings of $700. Customers save $700, and we get the full CPO. So it's one of the best things ever to sell, because customers get a massive savings, and we get the full CPO instead of what would normally be a huge hit and bonus, which would be like 500 CPO or something. So the flatware chest is one of the best things ever, both for you and for the customer. It's a huge discount. And my 17 years with Cutco, is by far the biggest discounted item I've ever seen. And I think part of the reason why that is Cutco is just really obsessed with helping everyone, especially past customers, get our flatware. So good question. Good question. Anything else?
When you're presenting the flatware, do you try to close on a set first, or do you try to close it along with the set?
Good question. Good question. There's two different styles. I usually show the flatware, and then I usually show the sets, like the knife set, then the flatware, then the cookware, and then I close where I offer the idea of all of it. Or they have the option to let go of one of those, the cookware, like what would you use least? So if they don't close on the biggest package, which ones would you use the least? Okay, I'll take the cookware out. All right, so if you just went with the set and the flatware, this is what you'd be going with. All right, so that's one option, to close with it all at once. It's whatever you prefer, whatever feels more right for you, whatever you're more comfortable with. Some people also just close on the set, and then after they close on the set, and then you get the customer's credit card, and you're writing up the order with the customer's credit card, and that way there's a sense of commitment that they've made. After you get the customer's credit card, then you can say, by the way, just so you know, the more that you get, the more that you can save, just like, Sam's Club. And if you were to add on that flatware that I showed you earlier, then I could add it on for only X amount. And then you could discount it a little bit more than what you normally would add it on for. Or you can say, if you add on that flatware, I can throw in the serving pieces, the 6-piece serving set for free. That's worth almost $300 for you. Or if you add the flatware today, I can throw in, and then you can add like a few hunting knives or something like that if you knew that they love to hunt or whatever. So there's two different ways you can go about it. Whatever feels most right for you. You can close it all at once and make sure you just add up all the products retail price normally, and then let them know what the discount would be. Or you can close them just on the set, get the credit card, start filling out the order, and say, by the way, just so you know, the more you get, the more you can save. And if you were to add on the flatware set, normally it'd be this amount extra, but today I can add it for this amount, or today I can give you the free, whatever you offer for free. So whatever's right for you, whatever style is right for you. Some people like to present it all at once. Some people just like to close on the smaller thing and then upgrade or add on after they're writing up the order. That answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, do we got Spencer back in the room?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You are.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll look forward. Thanks, Spencer. I'll look forward to seeing you guys at SC1. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I hope you guys got some goods. I definitely took some notes on that. You can't mess up or not take advantage of someone who can sell, $100,000 in 17 days. And if you didn't take good notes, then you probably want to rewatch this, because there's a reason he sells that much. It's because of his skill set. And it's all from the approaches and things that he uses. And his mindset, you can tell. Your job is to serve the customer, not to sell the customer. And I think too many people get so caught up on trying to sell, and they miss the point of our job is to serve. Our job is customer service representatives first. And if we don't go in with the focus of actually serving them, then we're not doing our job properly. Okay. So I hope you guys got some great info. I know I did. I don't have a video to finish up, but I will tell you, have a freaking amazing Saturday. It's Set Selling Saturday. For those of you who don't know, we're about to drop some bombs out here in the pilot. Get ready, get excited. By the way, people got paid yesterday. They're ready to spend money today. We had a huge day. We dropped some big orders yesterday, and it's only getting started. You are halfway through the push. I just want you to understand that where you're at is where you're supposed to be right now. Anything can change. Anything can happen. One order could be a $4, $5, $6, $10,000 order, as long as you come in with the mindset of thinking bigger. We had a couple people yesterday drop $1,500, $2,000 orders. And it was because they just went in with the intention of having fun, serving the customer, and cutting a lot of food. That's the keys. And then call in. So take advantage of what you learned today. Take advantage of Saturday right now. It's huge. So you know what time it is. It's 9 o'clock. It's perfect time to get a hold of people. They're waiting for you to call. Mrs. Jones is getting her cup of coffee. She's waiting at the phone for you. Don't discredit it. She's waiting for you. I promise. So go have some fun. Have a great day. Kick some ass. And I will see you all soon. See ya.